Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were up by about 0.5 to 0.6% and the overall economic data points which have been coming out particularly with respect to housing have been better than market expectations. However, European markets were down about 0.5 to 0.6% as we had many banks which have failed the stress test in the last couple of days. Almost 50% of the banks have failed, and this would require additional funding of almost about $4.9 billion, and that definitely is a bit of a worry for the Eurozone overall, and particularly the Italian banks. Almost 9 of these banks were from Italy out of 25, so this is an area that will remain a bit patchy, and we will have to wait and see how European markets react when they open up for trading in today's trading session. Asian markets today morning, they are a bit mixed. Hang Seng is down about 0.9%, whereas Nikkei is up 0.3%. Most of the other markets are flat, and SGX Nifty is suggesting that we are going to open up about 25 to 27 points, around 8,024, 25 odd levels. In terms of flows, things have definitely improved in the last 2 or 3 trading sessions. We've seen that the FIs have actually participated both in the cash market as well as in the index futures. So the overall sentiment here is definitely positive. There is one trend which is very clearly visible, and that is that from IT, we've seen some kind of funds moving into the domestic oriented sectors like banks and maybe cap goods and related plays. So there is definitely a sense of flows moving away from the IT as a back, and the numbers also have not been that great. If you look at Wipro also, I think numbers were slightly below market expectations. On that note, let me invite Sadhana to take us through important F&O news and ideas that we can have from the F&O desk.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Extending the previous session's rally, the benchmark indices showed an enthusiastic performance on Wednesday's trade, and the markets has maintained their bullishness on the Diwali Morat trading day also. As we have seen that on Wednesday, Nifty started the session with gap up opening of around 40 to 50 points higher, but throughout the day it was continued to trade in a narrow range. But many of the blue chip counters like Hero MotoCorp, Tata Motors, Jindal Steel, they were top gainers in Wednesday's trade. And Nifty finally snapped its session above the mark of 8,000 at 8013 odd levels. In this period, we have seen that market players have accumulated their long positions as open interest has increased by 4% from 1 crore 89 lakhs to 1 crore 97 lakhs. Approximately 15,000 contracts were added in Nifty futures, and Nifty futures price increased by approximately 64 rupees. On the other hand, cost of carry also increased by 7% from 9.54% to 10.21%. But on the other hand, Nifty futures premium decreased marginally from 18 points to 17.90 odd levels. On the options front, PCR is decreased by 1% from 0.88 to 0.87, but we have seen that call option has shedded its shares in open interest as well as put option also shedded its shares in open interest. India VIX was down by 2% from 13.33 to 13.03. In the options activity, call option 8000 has reduced its shares in open interest, but that activity was shifted to higher strike price, as we have seen that 8100, 8200 has added good number of shares in open interest fund. In the put option also 7800 has reduced its shares in open interest, and that activity was shifted to higher strike price in 7900 and 8000 has added good number of shares in open interest. So we may see that activity shifting from lower strike price to higher strike price, that can be a positive sign for the market. There are 2 securities in ban period, which is one is India Real Estate, second is HDI. And FIs were net buyers of approximately 1500 odd crores in Wednesday's trading session. They were net buyers of 751 crores in DEX futures. They were net buyers of 992 crore in DEX options. They were net sellers of 109 crore in stock futures, and they were net sellers of 76 crore in stock options. Our 5-day CVF stands at 7900. Lower range for the market would be 7900 and higher range would be 8100. As we have seen that in 7900 put option has added good number of shares in open interest, and call 8100 also has highest number of shares in open interest. Singapore Nifty is up by 30 points from Wednesday's close, which is at 8054. We may see a gap up opening in Nifty futures today. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Friends, let me take you through Sharekhan pre-market action report, starting with actionable ideas. First of all, a long call on Pipavav shipyard, as the center is looking at giving a total order of almost about 80,000 1,000 crore for the new submarines which would be built over a period of time, and Pipavav Defence could be the biggest beneficiary of this particular move. So one can go long there with the stop loss at 39.80 and a target of about 43.5 to almost about 46. IndusInd Bank, again some positive news as the FI cap in IndusInd Bank has been hiked to about 74%. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 675 and a target of about 695 to 705. And important results announcements today. HUL, we are looking at a net profit of about 1012 crore, and Bharti Infratel, we are looking at a net profit of about 487 crore. Here is a list of stocks with positive and negative bias. Stocks with positive bias are M&M, Bajaj Auto and LIC Housing Finance, and the stocks with negative bias are ITC. In other news and developments, all life-saving drugs would come under the price cap, and this particular move could have an impact on the companies like Ranbaxy, Sun Pharma, GlaxoSmithKline, Novartis and Pfizer, which have a large share of this particular market. And Goa has announced e-auction of 19 lakh metric tons of iron ore, and this ban has been lifted after 2 years of ban, and this could have some positive impact on a company like Sesa Sterlite. India's sugar stocks have declined by 25% to almost about 6.92 million tons at the beginning of the new marketing year that started this month, due to lower output and higher exports last year. And the government to fuel up 91,000 megawatt of stuck power projects. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a good trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.